the video for the notes for 7-7. All right, now instead of, so 7-6 we did fence problems, right? Now today we're talking about border problems, where you have a border that goes around a rectangle, okay? So if you look on your notes, the original problem says the yearbook staff at Bayside High School is in the process of mounting photographs from the homecoming activities for the yearbook. They are to be mounted on an 8.5-inch by 11-inch page. The space between the photograph and the edge of the paper is X inches on all the sides. So now you want to draw a sketch of the page setup and label the dimensions of the area covered by the photographer. So it said that it's going to be on an 8.5-inch by 11-inch paper, okay? So your long side is going to be your 11 inches. This is the outside of your paper edge. And the short side is going to be your 8.5 inches. Okay? So then you're going to have in between each of these sides, okay, you are going to have X. That's the width going around this whole thing is X. Okay? On all four sides. It's X. Okay? So that's what your diagram should look like. So now to find out what your inside is going to look like is here is going to be 11, your total 11 inches, but you're going to subtract 2X because there's an X down here that you're cutting off and there's an X down here that you're cutting off. So that becomes X plus X, which is 2X. Oh, my pencil keeps messing up. Out of lead. Right? So you get 2X. 11, which is your total up here, minus this space, which is an X, and minus this space within an X, so minus 2X. Now then on your short side, you're going to have your total 8.5 inches, but you're also going to subtract 1X and another X, which makes it 2X. So your short side is going to be, I'll write it sideways, 8.5 minus 2X. Okay? So the long side is 11 minus 2X, and the short side is 8.5 minus 2X. So now we've labeled our diagram. Express the area of the photograph, and the photograph is the inside area. Okay, this is the outer edge of the paper, and this is your border. Okay, so inside here, this box inside is your actual photograph. So the area of your photograph is going to be your length, which is 11 minus 2X, times your width, which was 8.5 minus 2X. Okay, so you're going to graph those. Now, you're going to go into your calculator. And you're going to hit y equals, and we've got parentheses 11 minus 2x in parentheses 8.5 minus 2x. Graph. Alright, so my scale was already kind of messed up a little bit. So I'm looking at something really weird. So let's go back to standard. Zoom 6. Okay. So now let's look at graph. I'm going to look at the window, okay? I don't care about negatives. So we're going to go 0 and 0. We're going to go 5 and 100. And now we're going to go 1 and 20 as our scales. Okay. So 0, I think I typed something in wrong. 0, oops, 5. So I'm just typing all this in my calculator. My min is 0. My max is 100. My scale is 20. All right, so this is what we're going to get, right? Because we don't care about negative numbers, right? They don't apply here. So now let's look at what we're going to get. We're going to have to scale this out. So you're going to have 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then you're going to have 100. So we're going to have 5 over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And they're going by 20s. So 40, 60, 80, 100. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right. So now you're going to take it and it looks something like this. Okay, so starting between the 80 and the 100, it starts coming down. That's 80 and that's 100. It'll start coming down. Okay, so you're going to hit. So I'm going to try to replicate that and make it look like this. Okay. So now this is your area of the photo. And this is your border, right? Your border width in inches. Okay. So now then, and that scale works, right? If you went too far out, you wouldn't see anything. And then if you went too far up, you wouldn't see anything. Okay? So if the border width is 3 inches, okay, so when your X is 3, right here, you need to figure out what your Y is. Okay, what is the area of the photograph? So why don't we try to go to our second table, go down here where X is 3, and what is it? What do you see Y? 12.5. So your area is going to be equal to 12.5 inches squared. Okay, area, because you're taking an area. You're taking inches and multiplying it by inches. The editor wants the photograph to have an area of 56 square inches. So the area, so now we're looking for Y, okay, of 56 inches. What should the border be? So you could come over here and you could try to find 56, but it may not be. So you're not going to find one that's going to have an exact Y of 56. So to find that, you would go to Y equals, and in your Y2, you would put in 56, just the number 56, and hit graph. So now it shows you where Y is 56. You can figure out what your X is, because you're going to go to your intersect, second trace, you're going to go down to intersect, which is 5, and hit enter. And now I'm going to come closer up to the point, because it's going to find where these lines intersect. So enter, enter, enter. And it's telling me they're intersecting at 1.082. Okay? That's where my X is. That's what I'm looking for. So write on here on your notes that in your Y2, you set it equal to 56 in your calculator. And then you go to intersect. Okay? When you find your intersection, and your X value is going to equal to 1.082 inches, right? Because that's what we got right here in the intersection of those two lines. Okay, so that's it. So now on the back there is another example. A gardener wants to build a walk of uniform width X around his rectangular garden of all 4 sides. The garden is 16 feet long and 12 feet wide. Okay, so that means it's 16 long and 12 feet wide. The garden is, though, so that means the inside is 16 feet long and 12 feet wide. And he wants to put a border around his garden. So draw and sketch the label, the length and width of both the garden and the walk. Okay. So if this length now is X, on all sides, this is X, right? This is X, this is X, okay? So now to get the outside, you would have to add the X's instead of subtract them. So over here, you would have 12 plus 2X, and over here, you would have 16 plus 2X. Okay, because you're adding the 16 here, and then this is an X, and this is an X, so you're adding the 2 X's. Express the area of the garden and the walk as a function of the border width. So now you're going to multiply these two together. So it's saying the area of the garden and the walk as a function of the border width. So you're going to take these outside ones, you're going to multiply them together. Okay? So that's going to be our equation. We're going to put that in y equals clear, clear. Make sure you clear all that out. Parentheses, 12 plus 2x in parentheses. Parentheses, 16 plus 2x in parentheses. And graph. Now this still has my window in there from the last one that we did. And you can't even see it. So we're going to have to adjust it. Okay? So we're always going to have zeros on our mins. Our x max, okay, we'll do 10. Okay, and then we'll do 1200, 200, and 2. Okay. So now, let's put that in. Windows, just double checking load. So it's going to be 0, 10, 2, 0, 1200, and 200. Okay, now graph. All right. So now we need to graph this on here. So you're going to have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. This is we're going by 2s. And now over here, you're going to 1200 by 2s. 200. So 200, 400, 600, 800, 1000, 1200. So this is your total area. And this is your width of the walk. Okay. So now you're going to start here at 200 and you're going to go up like this. That's kind of what it looks like. See? So I'm kind of just making it go up. Mine probably should have went up a little bit steeper than that. Okay, now it says if the walk had a width of 4 feet, how many square feet of space would the garden and the walk take up? Okay, so just a minute. Just go. So x is equal to 4. So you're going to go to second table. You're going to go to 4. And you're going to get 480 as your y. So 480 feet squared. Okay. Now then it says if the garden only had 350 square feet to use for the garden and the walk, what size would he have to make the walk? So your y now is going to be 350. So you're going to go in here and you're going to go to y equals. And you're going to go down. And you're going to put in 350 as your y2. Just like we did a while ago. And you're going to graph it. And now you're going to go to second trace. And you're going to go to intersect. And now you're going to get closer to the point. And hit enter, enter, enter. It's 2.407. So x is equal to 2.407 feet. Okay? So that's it. There's 2 examples.